Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We are back here at the New York City Real Estate Expo for 2025. I say this all the time. Whenever I'm here, this is the greatest real estate show in New York City. There's one other that's great too, but this one really, I heard something about 15,000 people walking through here already today. The Moore Network here at Brown Harris Stevens, where my show resides, we've done more shows live here on location. And the amount of people who come up to the stage to want to talk to all of us hosts has been really rewarding, really, amazing. It's just incredible. We have a good segment here coming up. We're going to talk about staging. In our business in real estate, I can go back long ago to selling new developments where developers had no idea that staging was going to help them sell an apartment. They were empty. People would walk in and say, I don't know, what do I do with this room? I have no idea what to do with this room. Anyway, long story short, staging became quite the thing. On the rental side, it's also quite the thing. I got two gentlemen here who run two different companies, and I want to ask them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their company, and then we're going to get into a little bit of a back and forth.
Sure.
Gavin, your turn.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. So my name is Gavin Steinberg, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Everest. We are a furniture rental and staging company located here in New York. We started the staging side of our business because we kept talking to real estate partners, and we kept hearing the same thing, which was that there were really expensive staging companies. The furniture is really nice, it looks great, but not every project could justify that price tag. And then on the lower end of the market, they weren't satisfied with maybe the quality or the customer service, and there was very little in the middle. So we started to focus on that, and our staging business has grown from there very quickly.
Tell us quickly, though, before we actually get into it and before we talk to the other side here, what is the meaning behind staging? Why has it become so important? As I said at the top of the show, developers used to give me a hard time. Sellers, individual sellers, who had already moved out and the apartment was empty would say, nah, why do we have to spend that kind of money? I don't really see the need or the purpose. Tell us why it has become what it's become.
I think it's partially because...
it's a great business for you.
Yeah,
right?
It's good. New York housing stock can be tricky. You have older buildings where you have funky rooms, weird layouts, and you need to showcase the great parts of that apartment, hide the parts that aren't as nice. And then on the new construction, they might have terrific light and views and glass walls, but the rooms are really small oftentimes. They're built for efficiency.
Yeah.
And so you need to be able to show that it can fit a queen size bed or a king size bed or whatever it might be. So staging really helps a buyer come in and be able to visualize what can fit there, and then also the next piece is to have that emotional connection and see themselves there.
It's an emotional connection, very well said, emotional connection, how I can see myself living in this apartment. I can't tell you how many times people would come into an empty apartment and say, so Vince, where do I put the sofa?
Right.
And I'd say, well, there are 4 walls, pick one. Well, then where do I put the television? There are 3 more walls, pick one. Not so hard, right? Easy for me to say, but they would stand there all verklempt. They have no idea what was going on. And so staging has helped. Introduce your company, your name, your company to us, and what you feel is your differentiator in what is already a busy marketplace.
Right, so first of all, thank you very much for having me. Great opportunity for us to introduce our company as a new concept for staging. My name is Sahar, and I'm the co-founder of Stage and Fold. Stage and Fold offers staging from 3D printed cardboard furniture. So we really wanted to create a different type of concept, focusing the mid to low market, which a lot of times just cannot afford. If it's the owner's budget, if it's the broker's budget, to stage properties. It can be very expensive and very time consuming to stage properties. And as you just spoke, it is very important to show a furnished apartment versus an unfurnished apartment. Understanding space, how the furniture fit. New York City is full of the small, weird layout apartments. And again, staging those apartments is expensive and it's very time consuming. Our staging process takes less than 30 minutes and the cost is about 10 to 20% of the traditional staging cost. We provide pre-assembled 3D printed cardboard furniture, which we build in 5 to 10 minutes. We fully accessorize it. And now when buyers or renters walk into a space, they can visualize the space fully furnished, where the bed fits, where the nightstand fits. And I can't tell you how many times I had brokers and sellers telling me a queen bed won't fit here. Obviously, they won't bring an actual queen bed to see it. But when we come in and we come with pre-assembled boxes, and in 5 minutes they can see a queen size bed.
Okay, so what caught my attention when I was hearing about, this episode is that we're talking about cardboard
Correct.
and cardboard furniture made out of cardboard. Good. And I get the fact that it's a lot less expensive than traditional staging. But my question to you is, when people come in and see, because as I said to Gavin before, people really just want to know where I put this or where I put that. So you're telling me that in place of a bed or a sofa or a television, you replace it with a cardboard piece of furniture. Hold on, cardboard piece of furniture, and that suffices for people or settling people down with, okay, I get it. This goes here, and this goes here, and this goes here. Does it really?
Exactly that.
And do you get comments on why is it cardboard?
I'm
playing devil's advocate, so I just need
No,
to
no,
know both
100%.
sides.
It's very valid questions, and I'll emphasize we're not here. If you're selling a very expensive property, a mansion, a penthouse for millions of dollars, we're probably not the right fit. That's why I started with targeting kind of that mid to low market.
On the sales side or on the rental side or both?
Both. And I'll tell you how many times people walk the apartment, it takes them a few minutes, and then they'll end up knocking like, oh, this is cardboard? A lot of our furniture looks very real. Again, I grew up in the printing industry, printing 3Ds, different types of products. So we created something that looks real. Again, it's not here to replace traditional staging. It's here to provide an answer for buyers, sellers, brokerage, landlords who want to stage, but on a budget. On a budget and on time. It takes a few weeks potentially to plan a staging process. You got to spend there a few hours with the stager, the moving truck. We're also avoiding all the hassles of COI and management companies in a lot of buildings. We just walk through the elevator. We are done in 20, 30 minutes. We leave no trash behind. We are an eco-friendly company. We leave no trash behind.
Again, I get the cost element. And again, just trying to understand all sides here. When people walk into an apartment, whether it's rental, whether it's for sale, at the mid-range, as you say, and they notice that the placement is cardboard, what's the commentary?
They love it. Not only do they love it, I heard from brokers, it becomes kind of the talk of the day. Later on, people remember that apartment because still, very few have seen it out there. Eventually, probably it won't be that same reaction. I know buyers that have seen it in few apartments, but most of the feedback is that people really understand the benefit of it. They like, now they can see how the bed fits. And the seller or the broker did not have to go and spend thousands of dollars to create that sense of space and scalability in a 500 square feet one bedroom or in a 800 square foot two bedroom.
Hi, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you know the right partner makes all the difference. At Roadway, we deliver an experience your clients will love. For specialized services and white glove care, choose Roadway. Want to learn more? Email me at steven@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
Looking to stage a property but on a tight budget and timeline? Stage with Stage and Fold. Stylish, lightweight, foldable, 3D printed cardboard furniture that looks real. Quick delivery and easy assembly. Staging starts at just $199 a month per room, and setup takes less than 30 minutes. Contact us today to stage smarter, sell faster, save thousands with Stage and Fold.
Gavin.
All right. Yes.
So, the flip side of that is you're sitting there saying cardboard when I have real furniture. No, just trying to get both sides.
Yeah.
So, what do you hear when you hear that? Obviously, two different business models, two different approaches, achieving the same goal. Okay?
Sure.
Satisfying people's what I call emptiness when they walk into an empty apartment and can't figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
How do you take all this in?
You know, I without knowing your business in depth, my understanding from just even this conversation and my guess is that we're servicing somewhat of a different market.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at before.
Yeah, and I think that's probably right. You know, we are at on our lower end, apartments are probably $1 million, and then we're going up to 7-10 million.
Yeah.
And our sweet spot is probably that, 3 to 7.
That's big. Yeah.
And my guess is maybe a lot of your properties are sub $1 million or in that
That's
range.
actually exactly it. Like the million, I wouldn't say it's the high end, but probably the 1.5, maybe 2 is kind of the higher end of our market.
What is the average, and now that we're talking about it, what is the average price of an apartment these days on the lower end? Because when I first started, I was all excited. My first open house on my first listing 23 years ago was a $210,000 one bedroom. And I thought, yeah, you made it.
Yeah.
Now we're talking nowhere near 200,000. That might be a renovation.
Right.
Not even.
Or not even in some cases. So, what is it? Is it 2 million, the average price? Is it 1 million? We know the higher end is 5 million, 7 million and up.
Yeah.
What's the average, meat and potatoes? We used to call it meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
1 bedroom studios. Yeah. What is that price?
Yeah, and obviously it ranges quite a bit based on apartment size, location, but you can get a studio apartment for under $1 million in New York.
I have one for
parts
sale.
of New
Come
York
and see
City.
me.
And so we see that client sometimes, and I'm sure you do too. We have a direct-to-consumer furniture a website, furniture rental.
Yeah.
And so for people who don't want full-service staging and they just need furniture and basic furniture, we often get people who come to our website. They'll rent the furniture. We'll deliver, assemble, and pick it up for free. It's much more cost-effective. We deliver in 5 days, and then they can use that furniture to stage their apartment and show what.
How do you deal with people
fits.
who are interested in it? I'm going to ask you the same question. I like modern, or I like, pre-war kind of, old or vintage or whatever. When you're staging, you really are doing it for the purpose of furniture placement and what goes where and what looks best where. Do you ever get into conversation with a seller that says, no, that's not my style, that's not really what I want to do?
Sure.
And how do you accommodate that?
We do all the time. We typically have a kind of a pre-designed
Because they're not
meeting.
living there anymore. The apartment is empty, so why should they even care?
People have an emotional, if it's someone who lived there, they have an emotional connection oftentimes to this apartment. They might have raised their family there, or they've been there for many years. And so when people feel connected to that apartment, they feel like they're invested in it, and they do want to have a say in it. And sometimes we try and guide them in the right direction. But we usually have a pre-designed call where we'll walk through kind of what they're envisioning, what we think works, and we'll try and come to a place that we think is going to help sell the apartment the fastest and for the highest dollar.
And in your model, when you're creating what I'm assuming, and I've looked at a couple of things this morning, some of that furniture looks terrific.
Thank you.
Someone comes to you, a seller, and says, hey, I want this type or this style or whatever. How do you do that or achieve that with cardboard? And does it matter?
So if it matters, yes, for some people. For a lot don't, and I understand that emotional connection, but for a lot don't.
Right.
And we are almost kind of a one-stop shop, so all of our furniture look the same. We can play around with the sizes, so our sofa can come in 3 different sizes, L shape, U shape, but design-wise, color-wise, it's all the same. And we created something that should blend in most very natural and very neutral. So we don't have different colors. I don't have green or orange because you never know how it's going to fit in an apartment.
Right.
In some apartments, it may fit great. In some apartments, it may not fit at all. So if you look at our model, it's very natural colors that should fit in most/all apartments. And again, sometimes they'll want a specific design, and we'll have brokers that maybe they'll bring their own. We provide basic accessories. They'll bring their own, another blanket, another pillow, different colors just because they want to spice it up. That's fine. But because our cost is so minimal, it allows for them to do that. We also have the possibility to deliver super quickly. I had a broker called me on a Thursday, I have an open house on Sunday. Friday afternoon, we staged the apartment. In 20 minutes, Sunday open house, people came, the apartment's ready.
Talk to me about the window treatments. You know, oftentimes when you're staging an apartment, it's more than just, you know, the furniture or the placement of furniture. I'm talking about window treatments to kind of tie it all in. Is that important for you or your customers? Do you run into that at all, or do you not?
We actually don't run into it all that much.
Okay.
It's not something that a lot of our customers are asking for. However, it does come up, and there are times where we are doing window treatments, typically just like a simple curtain to frame the window. But it's not a huge piece of our design process or our business.
You deal with window treatments at all?
We do not.
How about when, I know you guys do, TV on the wall?
We
You
have
put up cardboard television?
Cardboard
or,
television,
you know,
yeah.
one of these fake TVs that I see all over.
Yeah,
the-
we have that. And again, we
Forgive me, but I'm thinking everything is brown, right? In cardboard, everything is, or do you paint
no,
it?
we print it. It's 3D printed. You should see it. You have handles, 3D printed handles. You don't even realize it's not real until you knock on it. That's what I'm saying. You should see it.
Sahar, let me ask you something. I'm very intrigued by this, okay? So what inspired you to do this? Did you see this somewhere else before, or is this a concept that you came
No.
up with?
I was in the real estate industry for years.
Right.
And I used to show apartments, and you're standing there. This is the size of a queen size bed, and then you walk the 2 feet
You
because
walk-
this is a
yeah.
dresser.
That's right.
And it was always you're trying to
6 feet,
understand the
right?
size, and you put blue tape to mark the room size. When I was doing rentals and stuff, or selling apartments, condos, co-ops, Upper East Side. And then I grew up in the printing industry. So I mentioned that before. So we used to create, and we started playing around with the ideas of creating furniture. Now you can go and buy the cardboard furniture out there in the world, right? But there's a real furniture. They don't provide this accessibility of coming in and out like a preset kit of a bedroom, of a living room. So we created something that also kind of folds and collapses into a box that it's easy to go in and out of apartments.
Absolutely.
Unlike real cardboard furniture, which once you build that cardboard sofa, that's a cardboard sofa. You need 3 people to lift it, you need to put it in a moving truck, and it doesn't go in and out.
Question to you. So do you consider this or look at this as competition, or just one more thing that's out there and happening brilliantly, but is it competition for you?
I don't think so. Like I think we're servicing different clients and different customers and a different market of, I think a lot of our customers are doing more than just kind of showing the space in terms of what can fit there. It's wanting to create that emotional connection with the buyer.
100%.
And we are maybe bringing in some color at times. And so
Right.
we're working with them, and they might be like, I want it, some greens and some blues. So it's a little bit different of a process, and I think the result is probably different too, and therefore we probably have a different customer.
I'm envisioning a $5 or $6 or $7, $10 million apartment. Can you honestly say that putting in your stuff
No,
will work?
no,
No.
no. We've done that, and it didn't work so well. We've done a $7 million loft. The bedrooms looks great. Yeah, again,
I like his honesty.
yeah,
okay?
no, I'm honest.
Well,
But I'm doing
Tell me-
3,000 square foot houses in Jersey, which are $700,000.
well, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, but
a whole different- So tell me why it wouldn't work. What was the feedback on why it wouldn't work? A $7 million loft.
So I'll
That's
tell you,
huge.
I'll rephrase my answer. It may work in the future once there's a more acceptability
Right.
in the industry as a general. So someone walking in to see a $7 million loft right now, which is beautifully designed in
Yeah.
the Greenwich Village,
Yeah.
they probably want, and we understand that. And that's what I said. We are not targeting the exact same clientele. Maybe there will be some,
Yeah.
but a brand new development that has a $100 million sellout and needs to do a 2-bedroom model home, they probably have the budget and they need to spend $20,000, $30,000 to do it properly with wallpapers and chandeliers. So that's not what we are here for. We are here to provide for, again, anything in the lower budget that buyers are walking in and the room is empty and every buyer that walks in cannot envision how it works. And going back to the apartment we
It's
staged.
always a visual thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you pull it off properly and you make it look good,
Yeah.
I think you can do anything. What borough do you guys work in the most, Gavin? Is it Manhattan? Is it all boroughs?
Manhattan and Brooklyn are definitely our two biggest.
Okay. Any particular reason for that, or is it the broker community that's coming to you more from these locations, or other?
There's a lot of new development in Brooklyn, so that's one piece
That's
of it.
very true.
and there's a lot of resale that we do in Manhattan and New Devon in Manhattan.
Right.
And it's just bigger markets. There's just more transactions in general in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And then after that is probably Queens and then the Bronx. But we're now moving up into parts of New Jersey and all the way up into Connecticut as far as Darien. So,
what borough do you find you getting more work, either from the brokers calling you, sellers calling you?
I would say Manhattan, Brooklyn, and we're doing the outside of the city, within the tri-state area, as we call it. So we have jobs in Long Island, we have jobs in New Jersey now.
How about
We've
up
done
in Westchester?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we've done
Okay.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
All right, we have a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask each of you. I know Gavin's work. By the way, you do my studio. He designs my studio. His people every.
you're sitting in our chair.
I'm
sitting
sure it's
in-
beautiful.
I love this shit. Give me a couple of minutes on why, if I were either a consumer, meaning seller, or a high-end or any end broker, that you need to be in front of me. You need to be in front of me when I'm thinking of staging. Why am I coming to Gavin's company? Why am I coming to your company? Go.
So
What are you going to give me and my seller?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Great. So what differentiates the Everest is we're more affordable without sacrificing style or design compared to other staging
Yeah.
companies. Obviously, there's a different product out there that's staging in a different way. But for most traditional staging companies, we're more affordable and great customer service without sacrificing the style or design side. The average staged apartment is going to sell for 5 to 10% more than an unstaged apartment.
That's so true.
And on the high end, you're getting 15% more. So if you're selling a $5 million apartment and you can get 10% more, the staging fee is nothing, right? It's definitely worth it. So your return on investment is absolutely worth it. The trick is just getting sellers to understand that and then understand how much faster it's going to help move the apartment and for a better price.
Why am I coming to you when I'm thinking about either selling or an agent wanting to recommend a company with your new approach to staging? Why am I choosing you?
So
or
first of
your
all,
company?
furnished apartment, staged apartment, look about 20% larger than empty spaces. That's a fact. They sell faster and they sell for more money. We can provide a lot of the staging solutions for a fraction of the cost of traditional staging. So you don't have to break the bank now to stage the property and to showcase the space and the functionality of it without spending thousands of dollars. It will cost you a lot less and we will do it a lot quicker. Also, we leave no damage behind. We don't hang pictures. Everything is cardboard. We don't scratch the floor. We don't damage the building. We are in and out quickly like we've never been there, and we will still provide the solution to show your apartments how it looks furnished.
I didn't ask you this up top, but I should have. So where did you come up with this idea, this concept, this theory? Because quite frankly, when our chief marketing officer was giving me this information, I said, wait a minute, did you say cardboard? I keep saying cardboard. Where did this come from? I mean, I think it's genius.
No,
But
thank you. I
but
appreciate
where
it.
did it come from?
Again, it was, you want to
And
show
why?
the
And why?
because
What
you
was
want to
the need?
show the need
Other than
is,
cost? Or was it all cost?
No, it was not just cost. It's to show what fits in an apartment, in the New York City average apartment. Again, not talking about the 3,000 square foot lofts. I'm talking about the 600 square feet, one bedroom, the 900 square foot, two bedrooms. So many of them exist. You're talking about Brooklyn, walk-ups. I have a landlord that has 450 square foot walk-ups. He said since he started using us, he's renting the apartment versus in 30 days, in 2 days. So he's like at less month of a vacancy per year, and he's keeping us in the building as a rental landlord, moving us from one apartment to another when they become vacant. I've had the agent telling me I'm on the market for 3 months. I couldn't sell the apartment. I got you in at $400 for the months, within the months that the apartment sold. So for $400, they got the job done.
You know what? Again, I'll say it. It's novel. It caught my attention. There's always room for everything, new invention, new innovation. I wish both of you a lot of success, more on the traditional side.
Thank you.
I'm going to say you will get to be maybe traditional at some point in time as your business grows. How long are you in business?
We are in our third year.
Third year.
Yeah.
And Gavin, how long are you in business?
We launched in 2019.
Wow, okay. Almost old timers here. Any final parting words?
Thank you for having us. And yeah, if you need staging, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com.
We use their furniture, guys. We love it. Anyway, that's it for right now. I'll be back later on. Thank you for joining us here at the New York City Expo. We're coming right back.